All our regulars are here because they're looking forward to the update. And a lot of folks don't even know what a magnet is. We're going to cover a little bit of everything like we always do. The magnet strategy, really, it changes news trading because if you so choose, you don't have to do spikes anymore. You could wait for the spike to be finished and you could trade after the spike. And I'm going to show you why the magnet strategy has made so many changes to the way that we trade. My name is Lee Goldstein. I'm the trading director for 10 Minute Trades. Please remember, it is possible to lose money trading futures. Trade carefully and don't trade the rent. All right? Don't trade your mortgage. Trade smart. No one does that anyway anymore. Everybody's trading in prop accounts. So here's the deal. We trade appointment-based trading is the methodology we use. We make schedules with the market and we trade on a schedule. We use the NinjaTrader platform and we trade futures. Okay, I'm going to go over quickly what 10-minute trades does, and then we'll get right into the new features of the magnet trade. The magnet strategy. I have the software. It's not even beta yet, but that doesn't mean it's going to be a long ways away. It's really, if I can put the time in over the weekend, I'm hoping if we get a little bit of luck, we could be done and have it ready within a week. It's possible. It's possible. But I'm not going to rush it. I want it to be right. So I'm figuring 14 days is the real truth. But if we can do it sooner, certainly we will. Keep in mind that we have multiple strategies that are part of our system. You can trade in a prop account. You can trade in a cash account. A lot of people don't even know what a prop account is. There's a lot of new people being introduced to trading. And a prop account is when you lease the trading platform monthly from a company. You lease the data, you trade their funds. You're not trading cash in the beginning. You have to do very, very well before they will let you trade real money. But they lease a setup to you for the month. And instead of having to come up with $5,000 to open a cash brokerage account, you just lease everything from the prop account for a small monthly fee. So anybody now can get involved in trading. There's no excuse, I don't have enough money. That doesn't work anymore. So either you want to do it or you don't. It's just really very simple. We have four main elements that make up our system: the weekly market mover schedule, the daily market mover trade reports. And Eugene, just so you know, you can trade news in prop accounts. You have to just make sure you choose the correct company. Four elements: WMM weekly schedule, daily market trade report, software, and trade rooms. Those are the four elements. The four elements. Once again, weekly market movers, daily market movers, trade action reports, trade room access, very, very important element of our system, and then our software, our news trader strategy system, our magnet trade strategy, and our trap trade strategy. Three strategies with multiple setups, multiple setups. The weekly market mover is a weekly schedule. The weekly schedule shows the time of the event we're trading, when the trade room opens, the name of the event we're trading, the instruments we're looking at trading, the risk level. Couple of notes about the event. If we're streaming on YouTube, maybe we're just watching the report. Maybe we're not trading that particular event right now. And that's our weekly schedule. You can get it for free. Just go to our website, 10minutetrades.com, and opt in for the free video, How to Find My Own 10-Minute Trades. Also, it'll teach you a little bit about what we do. So if you don't know what we do, put a little time in, do a little bit of research. You don't have to do a lot. Go to our website, get the free schedule. Why do you want the free schedule anyway? Because if you're a discretionary trader and you're in the market when the CPI news is released or the jobs report is released, it's going to very possibly blow you out of your trade because it's going to move the market because of volatility from the news. Everybody should know what news is being released, which are the important news events that are most probably going to move the market. It will help to keep you safer. So get our news schedule. It's free and it's great guide to have by your desk all day long. All right, then the second element, part of our system, the daily market mover reports. Those are trade action reports. I would say about 70% of the events that we trade in our trade room get the daily market mover treatment. And the daily market mover has history on the event. Some of them have a 6 week or a 6 month journal. And also, our daily market mover has the setup that we're looking at trading. Sometimes we have multiple setups. Sometimes we will have 2 and 3 different possible setups that we're going to use. Okay? So the daily market mover is by itself a subscription product. Many people just receive our daily market movers and trade many events using the daily market mover report. If you're a full-blown member, a pro member, that's part of the subscription. It's one of our elements. Keep in mind, 4 elements: software, weekly market mover, daily market mover, and trade room access. So our appointment-based trading system is simple, it's time-based, and it's pre-planned. Everything we do, well, I should say almost everything we do is pre-planned. Over the recent time period with magnet trades, we are doing more discretionary trading. But everything we do stems from our plan to be in the room. We don't generally just say, hey, let's just show up and do a magnet. We haven't done that yet. We can do that, but we don't need to do that because we do most of our trading around news, around market opens, around market closes, because those are the best times overall to get the best movement in the markets. And you can schedule your trades on specific days at specific times up to a week in advance, hence the weekly schedule. You could schedule further out in time, but you just have to make sure, especially while the government shutdown is going on, always double and triple check the schedule. And I'm going to show you where we get our schedule from and how we figured it out. So you notice there's trigger categories on our schedule. Certain types of elements, certain types of events create market movement. The first category is high impact economic reports. Those are bank reports, GDP reports, consumer confidence reports. The second type of report might be a big company earning report. Why would you not want to spend time with us if you can trade this kind of a move in a big company earning report? Look at what happened last week when we traded Caterpillar. We got to our trade room in the morning at 6:30. Our software installs into NinjaTrader, becomes a part of the platform. It puts orders on the chart right before the news comes out. An unbelievable explosion on Caterpillar. Members in the room, literally people made thousands of dollars on that one trade. We made just under $600. And the most interesting thing about that explosive earnings trade, and we trade futures on earnings, not the stock. We trade futures. We invented a whole unique method of trading futures on earnings. But the point is, we had positive slippage. So all the hand wringing, all the crying about you can't trade events because there's too much slippage, it's absolutely not true. Yes, there are trades where slippage is a pain, and there are trades where slippage will cause you to lose on the trade. There will be a stop out at times because of slippage. It happens. But there's just as many trades where you get more profit than you thought, and that's called positive slippage. On Caterpillar, people got almost 50% positive slippage, or I should say 100. Their targets were doubled because the market was moving very fast in the profitable direction. And it took an extra second to get the target on the chart. that extra second sometimes gives you positive slippage. So Caterpillar was a phenomenal winning trade for almost, I don't think anybody lost money in the trade room on that trade. If you lost money on that trade, you probably were doing something wrong because look at it one more time. It's spectacular. We took advantage of that explosion to the upside. Our orders were filled instantly and our targets were filled instantly, and the trade was over in a second, not even a second. That's trigger category number 2. And we've had fantastic earnings trades over the past 2 weeks. Almost every trade has been a winner. And our members have been making nice, nice money. Let me just show you one more thing. Let me just cross one thing out of this. Give me half a second. Our members have been making money trading earnings because they always, when they have a great trade, we ask them kindly, send us your screenshots. We want to see what that trade looked like. And one of our members, we just recently traded McDonald's. He made over $600 trading McDonald's. Awesome, awesome trade. So we're excited. We love getting screenshots from our members. They send them all the time. Oh, let me see. Caterpillar, Francis in the UK. It's a little hard to see in the UK, and Francis trades in a cash account. He made $865 trading that Caterpillar trade. So we're not making this up. This is real, and we have different categories of trades that we take. So category 2, big company earnings, and then category 3, market open and closes. And I'll show a few opens and closes when I start talking about the new magnet, because magnets, you can trade market open and market closes using the magnet strategy. In fact, I like doing that better than most breakouts and range trades. I just like trading magnets because they seem to be more reliable over time. There's hundreds of triggers you could find within these categories, and you can pick and choose these triggers to set up a schedule. We do the picking and choosing, so you don't have to. Where do we find all these events? The free calendars are the place to go. Forex Factory is a great calendar. We teach our members how to use all these calendars. I'm not going to do it today. Forexfactory.com is excellent. Also, we love investing.com. Excellent, excellent calendar. You just click on economic tools and then calendar, tools, economic calendar. Slide down a little bit and there's a listing, a week's full of events. You can get next week if you just click next week. This is how we find our events. The calendars have ways that they show you what they think are going to be more impactful events than others. We study the events, we trade the events, and that's how we find them. And then earningswhispers.com, a very important website that we use to help us find earnings. Earningswhispers.com. All of these tools, we teach our members over and over how to use them in our trade room. You can trade in a prop account the way that we trade, especially magnets. Magnets are very consistent types of trades. You're not bursting generally and getting $1,000 winner and then a 200 loser. They're very consistent, and the prop accounts love consistent trading. But the rules are different with all prop accounts. So if you want to trade news, just find a company that lets you do it. They are out there. We use Bullinox. Some of our members are using Apex. Apex is a little trickier with news at the exact moment of the news. But all of these magnet trades, that type of trading is allowed. So you can definitely get involved with us and trade in prop. I mean, everyone's trading prop. That's the reality. Our News Trader software has a suite of setups built into it. Our Magnet Trade, I'm going to talk about a brand new setup that's going to be part of the Magnet Trade. We also have a very popular type of trading, just very simple. It's hard to imagine that one of our most powerful types of trading would be something as simple as just a reversal continuation trade. So many times in the market, the news will come out and we will just know that a certain direction is going to be followed for a little while. And we have a setup that lets you just enter the market to grab a simple trend. And so many of our members are using all of the tools that we've recently updated in our software. So everybody's excited about this magnet upgrade. Our strategies, they're custom add-ons to the NinjaTrader platform. They have multiple setups built in. As I've said, we can automate or semi-automate your trade entries, target, stops. You can trail, you can move your stop if you want to, if a target gets hit. There's a lot of flexibility in our software to manage a trade. Many platforms, NinjaTrader included, have an ATM language built in, an automated trade management language. But when you use our software, you don't have to learn that language. Our software is a replacement for spending the time learning the NinjaTrader language to manage your trades. I truly believe our software makes it much, much easier to manage your trades. So let's get right into the magnet strategy. Now, if you've been getting my millions of emails, and I do apologize, I know that sometimes it's annoying to get so many emails, but we're so excited about this strategy. We know that if you take advantage and learn how to do this, you will be happy that you did it. So the first thing you need to understand is, what is a magnet? That's the whole key to everything that we do. So it's very interesting. Today, I happened to be watching the market while I was getting ready for today's webinar, and gold was amazing. Gold is one of my favorite instruments to trade. It is hard sometimes to trade gold. As of late, it's been really, really volatile. And you'll see when I show you this chart. I'm looking at a very simple 30-second chart. If we go a little bit back in time, not very far, but I was getting ready for the webinar. I wasn't watching the charts at all. I did a little scalp in gold for about a $90 profit before this webinar started. And then I just started working on my slides. I didn't watch the market. And we had a fantastic setup take place that is going to be part of the new magnet strategy. And it's when a magnet hits, if a magnet hits the high of day or low of day, and the squeeze changes direction, we're going to have a new part of our strategy that will generate a buy or a sell signal so that you can enter into the market. So it's an extra strategy after the magnet hits. For instance, gold made a new high here, okay? Gold made a new high here. Now, I'm not saying this worked. You have to be careful. If you have a relentless run-up in gold, you may not want to jump in immediately. You want to be careful, okay? You want to be careful. So, for instance, I'm going to show you this event off of the VWAP because it really shows the correct strategy. Very understandable. We will be doing it initially off of high of day and low of day. And in fact, the NQ actually shows it perfectly off the NQ, off the low of day. So what happened here is we have the squeeze indicator, all right? And we are including a custom squeeze indicator with our new magnet strategy. If you notice what happened here, well, first of all, I didn't explain what magnets are. So let me back up and do this the right way. What the heck is a magnet? So magnets are levels on the charts that lots of traders all look at the same levels and they place their orders around these levels. And price gets attracted to these levels. So we came up with a way to exit our trade. Exit the trade at the magnet. Don't enter it. Exit. Because when you get to the magnet, that's a great place to take your profit. It may not be all your profit, that you take at a magnet, but you certainly would want to take your first target at a magnet. Why? Because so many traders place their orders around these common areas. Those orders and all the activity at those levels attract price. Those levels get tested over and over on every different instrument. All instruments have these levels that we look at: a high of day, a low of day, VWAP, and we're including a custom VWAP in the new magnet, pivots, the PP, R1, S1, S3, R3. There are popular levels on the charts that act as magnets for price. We simply wrote a software strategy that lets you set up a trade to exit at the magnet. So look what happened here. And then what I was saying before I defined what magnets are, we're adding an extra setup into our magnet strategy because we notice something over and over and over and over again that takes place after the magnet trade is over. Another setup so often takes place that we wanted to add an option to the strategy to take this other extra setup. Look at the NQ. The NQ this morning made a new low. Okay, that low is the magnet. We love that magnet. Now, I'm going to just right click the chart, go to crosshair, and I'm going to put the crosshair on local so I can turn on my crosshair so I could show you a little better. But in case you didn't know how to do that, that's how you do that. So over here we have this red line. That red line is the low of day. We're going to show you the instrument, the indicator to put on your chart so that those lows of day appear on your chart. But also look how clean our charts are. Our charts are very clear, they're clean, they're simple to read. Everything that we do, all of our news trades, all of our magnet trades, we're trading off of these simple, easy to use charts because we don't want to clutter everything up with complicated, sloppy looking indicators that you don't need to be looking at. So our charts are very clean. So what happened here is the NQ made a new low. We are looking for the squeeze to change momentum, change color. Most people use the squeeze to go long when the signal is above the zero line. These black dots are the zero line. And if you look over on the right, it says zero. That's the zero line, okay? Not complicated when you look at the squeeze. Normally, people go long when the squeeze goes above the zero line. We love the setup where the momentum color of the squeeze changes from dark red to light red and the candle closes. That's my long signal. So my long signal is here. Okay, my long signal is here. You have to forgive me. I used that. Let me make that simple. My long signals. Let me just find a little circle. I'm sorry. It's been a long week, folks. Our long signal is here, where that little dot is, that line. Okay, instead of all the way over here. All right. So we're getting in way back here. We're also going to be able to control how many candles we want to wait for before we enter the trade. Also, look, if you see, also we want the color of the candle to be the color of the direction we're going. Not a very complicated strategy, but look at how beautifully it worked this morning or at lunchtime, right after we got here. It was like right before we got here, right when we started. This started exploding up. It was a phenomenal trade. It was better than the magnet. Let's look and see if we go back in time. What did the magnet do? The magnet was not bad either. It was testing the magnet all morning. So we're looking for one of the first magnets, not like the 12th, the 13th, the 14th. I love the first magnet or the second magnet of the day because they tend to be very reliable tests. In other words, if it just literally tested the low of day 10 minutes ago, I don't like the magnet as much as if it hasn't tested the low for hours. Okay? Magnets generally work better when they haven't been tested in a while. So remember, magnets are areas on the chart that so many people look at that they become areas that pull price. And then what we do, we wrote a strategy to take advantage of the movement into that direction towards the testing of that price. Gold made a fantastic magnet to the R1. That was a magnet trade, and then it kept going for the magnet test of the high. Those are possible winners in magnet trades. Now, I will answer every question, I promise, when I'm done with the webinar. So please feel free to ask questions. I will answer every single question. Okay? So, very simple to understand what a magnet is. What's nice about our magnet strategy is that, so yes, there are magnets. What do we consider magnets? So we consider the VWAP a magnet, and we're including a custom VWAP in the new magnet strategy for members that aren't lifetime Ninja Trader owners. If you're a lifetime Ninja Trader customer or client, in the indicator list, there is order flow VWAP, okay? And that for Ninja Trader lifetime members is included, but that's not included if you're not a lifetime Ninja user. And we like the VWAP so much because it's such a popular area on the chart that gets tested that we include a custom VWAP, so you're not left out of missing some of the good trades. Look at gold. It tested the VWAP. And what's interesting, very often it will test the VWAP 4 or 5 times during the same day in a tradable manner, okay? In a way that can be traded. So the thing is this also, magnets appear on every chart. What's your favorite instrument? You like trading the ES futures? No problem. Go trade the ES futures. Take a look at the chart. What do you see? Magnets getting tested. Low of the day got tested. Very often, sometimes that'll happen near when the NQ gets tested. But lows of days, lots of testing. I may not take all of these magnets. Remember what I said. I'm really looking for the first magnet of the morning when I come in, and maybe a magnet or two after that, and then I'm looking possibly for other instruments. All right? But these magnets, any chart that you want to trade, you could find magnets. And you know what? You can find magnets on your favorite stock charts. These are levels that all instruments respond to. Pivots, highs of days, VWAPs, and here's the best part. When we designed the magnet strategy, we wanted to make sure that anybody who was a great analyzer of trend, because really, if you think about what we're doing, we're just looking for a trend that's working, and a magnet often works best in the direction of the trend. So if you're a good analyzer of trend, you're going to love magnets. And probably analyzing trend is one of the more easy things to do in trading. It's not as complicated as analyzing strange period zones or Ichimoku cloud configurations. I don't know if it's raining or not raining when I'm looking at Ichimoku clouds. And I would rather know what the trend is, because we have tools that we teach you to look at that will help you to find the trend. And a lot of them are free or inexpensive, and we show you how to put them on your charts. And now, quite a few of them we're going to include and configure as part of Magnet 2.0. So there is going to be an option to choose to look at some of these levels as part of the software. VWAP on and off, show the VWAP, show the net change display, which is a free indicator we use, show the squeeze. We're going to make the squeeze part of our strategy. What's the setting in the squeeze that we like on a 30-second chart? We show you that. We're really making a great update to the strategy, and actually I'm so excited too about that extra setup. When the magnet is over, we've got the extra setup, and there's going to be a way to get a buy signal on the chart and then just click a button to enter the trade. So I'm real excited about that. That is going to ship with the update. It's not going to be delayed. I expect to have that in my hands. I hope today, this afternoon, is when I'm expecting it. So, very simply, magnets are areas on the chart that lots of us look at, and because we're always looking at those areas, price is attracted. When you get to the magnet, we are exiting our trade, or you can then add another position when you design your setup. If you want to go through the magnet and keep going, there's a way to do that. It can be a multi-position trade so that if you hit the magnet and keep going, you can stay in the trade. You don't have to limit your win just to the magnet. And that's just logical trade management. So all of the normal trade management features you would expect in a regular trade, whether it's a magnet or a long scalp or a short scalp, those type of features are generally just part of our software, and they're just logic. They're logical. Okay, so that's what a magnet is. Chart setup, in my opinion, is critical. Okay, now Richard's asking a question that I think I answered. Where do you set the limit after you enter the trade? So, Richard, could you type that in a different way? I don't understand what you mean. Where do I set what limit? So if you type it so I understand it, I'll be happy to answer that for you, okay? I'm not clear on what you mean. So the charts are super important. Oh, target or stop. So Richard, what we like to do is he's asking where do you set the stop in a magnet trade? What I like the most in most magnet trades, and it depends if I'm trading full-size magnets or if I'm trading micros, I like to use areas of consolidation as one possible level. So if I'm trading a long magnet, I might want to use this area here, okay? And if it breaks that area, if I'm long, for instance, for a test of the VWAP, and it breaks this consolidation area, that might be very much where I will take my stop, okay? If I'm going the opposite way, I might put my stop above the VWAP. Couple of very important things that I believe when you're putting your stops. One of the reasons these magnets work is because, especially new traders, they bunch their stops right at the level. A new trader tends to look at an important level as they learn about it, and then they put their stop like one tick above that level or just one tick below. I like to give my stops a little bit more room to breathe. So if a newbie is going to use a 1 or a 2 tick stop, I'm adding about 10 ticks or so to that. So they're getting stopped out, but that attraction doesn't always kill my trade, and I can often survive and still go the opposite direction. So don't always just put your stop at the one right at the level you want to get stopped. Give it a little room to breathe. John is asking, does the VWAP computation begin with session open, or can the time be set manually? So John, you can't set the time manually on the VWAP for us. It's set by the NinjaTrader built-in time templates. When you click data series, what controls the calculation of indicators in NinjaTrader, at least our understanding, is the template trading hours, and that's what we use. I don't want to use very custom trading hour times because then I'm giving up the whole reason why magnets work. The reason magnets work are because all traders, so not all, but many, many, many traders are setting up their magnets around the times that people are all using. So default trading times are the best trading times to use for setting up magnets. Now, the other interesting thing about magnet levels, you can use any indicator you want to use to create a custom magnet. So the way that our strategy works, when you call up the magnet strategy, and it's very easy, you just right click the chart, click on strategy. Our strategies become installed into NinjaTrader, okay? They become installed into NinjaTrader, and you can just call up the strategy by clicking on the word magnet strategy. Then it determines whether or not we're doing a high of day, low of day strategy or our custom level strategy. The custom level strategy lets you choose any level that you type in. So if you have custom indicators, for instance, if you have a custom indicator that generates a very important level, for instance, at 6730, okay? A very important level at 6730 on the ES. That to you is the most important level of the day, and it's a level that you think is going to get tested, okay? You can make that a magnet so that you could trade down to it if price is above it, or you could trade up to it if price is below it. Very simply, when you call up our strategy, turn on the strategy, you would just put the strategy on custom level and then type in that level, 6730. Okay? That's the current level you want to use. Type it in. 6730. Apply it and okay it. And when you turn on the strategy, you have an entry. Now, here's the thing to understand about our strategy. When we use our custom level, we didn't want people having to calculate number of targets from a certain area. We want to make things as easy as possible. So think of the custom level as your exit, okay? The custom level is your exit, 6730. That's the magnet. But when you turn on the software and enter in that custom level, remember we said 6730 is our custom level, right? So when we use the strategy, that's the number we type in. You always type in the magnet itself as your level. And you don't have to remember anything. It becomes common knowledge that that level is always one of your exits. It's your main exit, and our strategy defaults to 3 ticks before it gets there. All right? Lots of times you'll get a test and the price it'll miss it by a tick, or it'll miss it by 2 ticks. So we set our default 3 ticks away, just so you don't drive yourself crazy by missing it by 1 or 2 ticks. You can move your targets easily on the screen. It doesn't matter. If you don't like that, you can change the -3 to a 0, so it actually has to test it. And you can add a second position just by telling the software, make position number 2 1 contract. You want to make it 5 contracts? Put the number 5. Your stop, you just type in the number of ticks you want it to stop. You want a 40-tick stop? Go ahead, choose a 40-tick stop. You want to go long only? Click the long only button. And there's other ways to do that. But it's real easy to set up a custom level. You just type in the level. So we put our level of 6730 in, apply it and okay it. And now when we turn on the magnet strategy, I'm thinking of renaming this the magic strategy because I say it all the time. And it works like magic. No, you know what I mean. Anyway, magnet strategy, when you turn it on, and I'm going to put it, I'm on sim because I'm not paying attention to analysis. When you turn it on, remember, it puts the exit, puts our strategy level right at the exit. But this is actually our entry. That line can be moved wherever you want to move it. And that is your order entry. for the magnet strategy. Our magnet entry button shows you that price level, 67. What's the level that it's going to trigger? All right. It shows you in the box. Also, this is where you get filled. All right. In other words, that's where you get filled when the price moves up. If it pierces that order line, that's your entry. Your exit, maybe that 67.30 is a magic level. Maybe you're right. And if price starts heading up to it, it's going to test it. So you can have your own custom magnet strategy trade, any level you like, any indicator that generates levels, right? Very, very easy. Very, very easy. One of the things we're adding to the new version is more automation, more calculation, pre-calculation of all the first targets. So instead of having to figure out what your target is on target one, the software is going to automatically make -3 ticks before the magnet. That's going to be the target. It just makes it easier. We want to make it easier to run these programs, to run the magnets. Every level now can be automated. So the way that our strategy works also, the magnet entry button is also the automation on button. When you turn that button on, it will automate the trade according to all the settings that you chose inside the strategy. If you have a 10-tick target, that will be your target. If you have a 3-tick, if you have a 20-tick target on position number 2, that'll be your target. That's all done inside the strategy. All right, and it's very easy to set that up. You just type the numbers in. So the custom level lets you choose the VWAPs, the pivots, the PP, the R1, the S2, the S3, all the popular pivots, and also any custom level you so choose. Anything you want to put in can be used. The other system built in is the high of day, low of day system. I personally believe high of days and low of days are the best magnets. They're my favorite. They are my favorite. Highs of days and lows of days, they are getting tested. Any chart that you like looking at, there's going to be a really good time during many days, if not most, if not every day, to take a magnet trade at a high or at a low. They just attract price over and over. So when you choose the high of day, low of day magnet strategy and turn it on, right? I'm just going to leave everything pretty much default, not really changing anything except high of day, low of day. So I can see the high of day up here. I can see the low of day down here. There's also one indicator, one item that we type in, and it's called proximity. When we first designed the magnet trade, the strategy, we had no way of moving our entry. So the proximity was very important. It had to calculate how far away from the magnet we wanted to put our orders on. But that was actually really silly. It was foolish. Why not just make the orders movable on the chart? So we did an update after a little bit, and that's the way the strategy works now. So the proximity is not something you have to worry about. It's not something you have to get crazy trying to figure out what the exact number should be. Usually any number between 5 and 10 puts your order entry line away from the magnet in a good level so you can then move the order around. So the proximity, all that it does is changes where it puts your order entry line. So you just do it, if you make it a 7 all the time, that's usually actually pretty good. You don't have to spend more than 1 second worrying about proximity. Because remember, a magnet trade isn't automatic, right? It doesn't trigger the second you put everything on the chart. You look at things, it's a trade that you're waiting for a setup. Now, look, sometimes markets are moving fast and they're going to test the high quick. You can get a magnet trade put on pretty quickly. Like if I'm just watching a market and all of a sudden it starts testing the low down here, I could look at the market, right click, click on magnet strategy twice. It'll put the strategy down there. Choose high of day, low of day. I don't even have to choose a proximity. I can leave my order, one contract. All you really have to choose, you choose the account you're trading in. I like to label all my trades, but let's say you don't have time, you okay it, turn it on. There's my order entry. I can have my order entry trade below the VWAP if I didn't have time to set up a custom level trade. I could have it trade here because it will trade where I move the order line to. Okay? It will trade where I put the order line to. And it shows you in the box 67.1150 is that line. That's where my order is. Normally the high of day, low of day, I'm going to be moving my entry around the high of day, low of day. I like to get 10 or 15 ticks at least for a magnet, at least. But it's also going to depend on speed of the market, how fast is the market moving, levels on the chart, are we above other magnets? I love double and triple magnets. When I say double and triple magnets, I love when the PP is sitting right next to the high of the day, and they're also sitting right next to the 6 p.m. market open. More magnets at one location make for a higher probability of the trade working, right? You're getting more magnet action. It's more magnetized. Like today, looking at the ES, there's a pretty good possibility that ES magnet is going to get tested, right? Maybe I had no magnet on the chart and I just put it on the chart just now. High of day, low of day. I left the proximity where it was. I left everything where it was except for the stop is at 20. I just apply the trade, turn it on, enable it, and now all I have to do, place my order. If I don't like where it is, I determine where I want my entry level. I can look over on the right and see the exact level that my entry would be. And now I have certain decisions. I can trade long only or short only. In this case, this is going to be a short trade because we're coming down to the price. So normally to be safe, I could turn off long, okay? But it is a high of day, low of day trade. Sorry, it is a high of day, low of day trade. So I also have up at the top, at the high of day, an entry up there, but we're not getting up there. It's not going up there, right? You don't have to worry about it. It's not happening. It's not going to fill. It's too far away. Unless, a tweet gets made, the shutdown's over and everything's beautiful. That could make the price burst up all the way to the top. Now, this magnet is not automatic. If it gets to my order entry line, I will get a purple blinking box and I'll get an audio alert telling me it's getting to the order entry, and I press the button to enter the trade. I could make this an automated trade by clicking the magnet entry now button. Now, if it pierces the line, the order line, it will enter the trade automatically. So it's a completely automated trade. Now there's a couple of questions. Will we have suggested templates? I mean, in the trade room, Len, we're always suggesting setups, but I don't have specific templates that I create for magnets. It's really, the markets are so different every day. I like to get 10 or 12 ticks at least on position one. Stops are based around levels, so I'm not really using a specific template every time. So that's probably not something we're doing. But I'm looking for generally 10 to 12 ticks. Also, depending how the markets are moving. If the markets are really trending in one direction, then you might go for a much larger target. Um, anyway, so that's how you set up the trades. They take about a minute to set them up. And then look, what if the market starts doing what it's doing now? What do? Turn it off, go do something else. The direction you're looking at isn't really happening right now. Or go do something else, leave it auto, and let it trade. If you believe we're in a negative day, which we are, because the net change display is very negative, leave the trade in place, let it trigger, take your risk. You know what the stop is. You created the trade, you have a stop, so you have a risk tolerance that you decided to use. It's not that complicated, okay? The things we can choose in the magnet trade, high of day, low of day, all those custom levels, any level can be a magnet. Like I said, we're building in the VWAP, we're building in pivots now, and also we are doing a custom squeeze, so when that important move after the magnet trade is done, we can trade off of the low of day or the high of day. And I'll probably add the VWAP to that very, very quickly after the version, the 2.0 is officially out. All right. Let me see if there's any other questions that I'm not missing. Anyway, going forward, let me just make sure I've covered everything. Our magnet control panel is updated. It's just a little bit cleaner. It's actually a lot cleaner. It also shows the system you're trading, whether you're trading the high of day or the custom level. So we just cleaned some things up. But one of the things I'm most excited about is when you hit the high of day or low of day magnet, we're going to have the ability to take that extra second, extra setup. It's literally a completely different trade setup, but it's so popular and common when magnets are hit that it works very, very well. It's a high probability trade. And I just want to show you a couple of magnets so you understand what we mean when we take these magnet trades. So this is a magnet trade. If you notice, the software puts the heavy order line on the chart. You get a little bit of chop. It doesn't always go right to your magnet. And then boom, it's going to hit the magnet. Price generally will chop a little bit, but there's a magnet. It's not complicated. Then the same day we took another magnet trade. We were looking at oil that morning, or micro oil. If you want to reduce your risk, you can trade micros. Price pops around and bingo, hits the magnet. These magnets get tested over and over and over. Here's another one. You notice the magnet auto button is on. When it pierces the line, the trade enters you in. It puts the order 3 ticks away from the high. You don't have to do anything when it's in auto mode. You can just watch the trade. You're basically just watching it. There it goes. Bingo. Another magnet trade. They just take place over and over and over. If you look at your favorite instruments, you know, that was oil, the NQ. I believe this is the NQ. It was after durable goods news. All right. We set up a magnet on the MNQ. The MNQ, we were looking for the VWAP in this case. So we set up the magnet. Now, sometimes you'll look at a market and you'll say, wait a minute, the magnet's really far away, but I want to enter now. Well, we have an enter now button on the magnet trade. If you don't want to wait until it gets to the order line, you can just press the enter now button and you can get into the trade early. So we've tried to think of almost everything on this setup. This particular trade, it was a VWAP magnet. VWAP is that red line. There it is, another magnet. They just test over and over. They're so great to trade after news. Here was a perfect gold magnet. I don't think I've shown this one. I love gold for magnets. They all look the same. I mean, because they are very often, what are we doing? We're testing for the high of day, testing for the low of day. They look a lot alike. Price chops a little bit. You can trail. Bingo, another great looking magnet. That was full-size gold in a prop account. These are not fake trades. They're trades we're either taking with cash or we're taking them in our prop accounts. The other thing that we do, magnets are fantastic around market opens. We love magnets around market opens. We're struggling. I've been struggling with the YM on the market open. I just don't trade it well at the market open. So I look for magnets. This was yesterday's market open on the YM. Instead of trying to trade the exact second the market opens, we noticed the YM was pretty negative. It was down almost 100 points. It was looking like it was going to test the low of day before the market even opened. I put the short magnet on, and that's exactly what the market did. It tested the low right before the market opened. That was my magnet trade of the market open yesterday. You don't have to trade the exact moment of the news, and that's why I say the magnet strategy has truly changed the way we trade news. You can now do a much more reliable trade if you don't want to take the risk of exploding breakouts. Now, I love that type of risk. I love those trades because so many of those work also. But if you're not a risk taker and you don't enjoy those types of trades, then you have the opportunity to do magnets. And magnets, like I said, you could just trade magnets all day long if you want to sit in front of your charts all day long. We set up our charts the same way for all of our news trading. We show you how to use these indicators, and we're also making these indicators part of the strategy. And I am going to put a caveat out there, as long as the programmer does it in a way that I find acceptable. It only takes a few minutes to set up our charts for trading. So if the implementation of automatic chart creation, if it doesn't work perfectly, then that might possibly not be in the update. It's possible. I have to make sure it does the chart setup easy because it's not complicated to set up the charts. It only takes a few minutes. All right. But we are going to include the custom squeeze, and we are going to include, of course, the new setup. You now understand why magnet trades get triggered. It's the levels that attract the price that create these trades. So we believe that our magnet strategy allows for safer news trading. We'll have new improved automation, new auto magnet in the new setup. Easier and faster to put the setups on because less calculation of targets. And we're now adding the target calculation on even the custom levels. Can you trade the market opens? Absolutely. Market opens love magnet areas. Can you trade news? Absolutely. News loves magnet areas. How many times have you been in our trade room trading the news with us and it hits the high or it hits the low or it breaks through the VWAP? So of course magnets are tradable during and after news. And can you trade this type of trading? Prop accounts love this type of trading because it's very consistent. So here's the deal, folks. We have a special offer we'd like to make everybody in celebration of this strategy being released. It's going to be out. I truly believe less than 14 days. I'm saying 14 days, but I believe we'll have it before that. We would love if you join us for all of our upcoming news, earnings, and magnet trade rooms. You'll get every single thing that we offer to become a member. You will be a pro member, including Magnet 2.0. The current Magnet, which is our current strategy, of course, will be included. You'll get everything that we offer to our pro members. News Trader software, our daily market mover trade reports, everything that we offer. The trade room subscription, every single day we're in the trade room. You're in the trade room if you want to be there. Our trap trade, the reversal trade, trap trade, every setup that we have, everything is included. We teach you how to trade in a prop account. We teach you the problems of trading. We teach you the benefits of trading. We teach and teach and teach. We can sell this Magnet strategy easily for $1,000, easily. It makes money over and over and over. But in celebration of our pre-release for this, we're offering everybody 6 months of membership for $497. Not just for the Magnet strategy. We could do that, just Magnet strategy software for 6 months so you have software access. We could sell that for $497. If you go to www.magnetstrats.com, you'll see the offer I'm going to make now, but I'm making a very big bonus today. 6 months of pro membership includes everything. All software strategies, trap trade breakouts, ranges, the weekly schedule, the daily trade reports, trade room access, all software access, www.magnetstrats.com. And of course, when the new strategy is out 2.0, looking at 14 days, that'll be included as well. Plus, if you sign up for this deal before Sunday at midnight, we will give you 7 months for the price of 6. 7 months for the price of 6. If you're a current member, you can turn off your monthly membership when it expires, when the monthly period expires, and you could sign up for this and we'll just add it when your monthly membership expires. If you have a long-term monthly, yearly membership, and many members, their memberships are getting ready to expire as we get close to the end of the year, you can sign up before Sunday at midnight and we'll just add this to your current time that you have. No big deal. It's not a problem. We want everybody to be able to take advantage of this offer. You get everything that we teach. News Trader software, the Magnet strategy. You will learn all about the appointment-based trading method and why we love trading by schedule. Choose the events you want to trade. We have a weekly schedule. I told you that in the very beginning. We create a weekly schedule, and our weekly schedule, I'm working on next week's schedule right now. You'll decide what you want to trade. We give you a heads up which are the best trades. We have something called family money trades. We give our favorite best of the best reports. We call them family money trades. Those are the ones you want to trade always. But maybe you want to trade Cisco earnings, but you don't want to trade the Australia jobs report. We teach you how to decide what to trade. I always tell our members what the best reports are, and that's part of being a full-blown member. Pro members get all the knowledge. We're not holding anything back. You'll learn how to trade stock earnings with futures. Don't you want to be able to send us these great screenshots where it's you making $600 or $700 on a McDonald's earnings trade by spending about 15 minutes in the trade room with us? That's not a one-time thing. It happens all the time. We traded Palantir this week. Palantir's a brand new one. We never traded Palantir before. We noticed it was really moving great. Last quarter, people made serious money trading Palantir. Well, this quarter, Roz from Kenya, one of our nicest, newest, not nicest, newest, one of our longer term traders, trading micros. She made almost $250 trading Palantir in the trade room with us. And other members made close to $1,000. Look at the way Palantir moved. These are the trades you want to learn how to do because they make you money. Palantir, we've done the research. We know what time Palantir is releasing their earnings. We took advantage of another caterpillar-like move and traded Palantir for hundreds and hundreds of dollars of profit, and we spent about 15 minutes of preparation getting ready for it. Quarter after quarter, we have these great earnings trades, and this is all part of this membership. We're not saying just do magnets. We're saying to really do magnets and do it the best possible way, we want you to be able to do it the best possible way. So we're offering this deal to everybody. I will guide you step by step in each of the trade rooms as you learn to become a pro member. Magnet 2.0, we expect it in 2 weeks. Current magnet is shipping and beautifully tradable right now. $4.97 for 6 months. If you sign up for this before Sunday at midnight, you'll get 7 months, a bonus month. www.magnetstrats.com. If you need help at 10minutetrades.com. You can send us an email, help@10minutetrades.com. Happy to answer any questions. You get the Magnet Trade live news trading room, our news trader software, a teacher that cares. I really care about teaching you how to do this. www.magnetstrats.com. I could go there and show you what it looks like if you like. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this. I think the strategy that takes place just after the magnets are hit alone is worth the $4.97. 1 or 2 great trades will easily pay for 6 months of our service, and we're giving you 7 months if you sign up before Sunday at midnight. And then, hey, it's still a good deal. It's just back to 6. So I don't see any questions. I want to thank everybody for joining us today and yesterday on our Ninja Trader hosted Magnet Strategy webinars. We are excited. The new version is almost done, and I can't wait to show it and teach it to everybody in the trade room. So I hope you have an awesome weekend, and I'll see everybody next week in the trade room. So thanks, everyone. I think this is an offer you should take. www.magnetstrats.com, and you will have a great time trading. See you all later, and I'll see you soon.